Today we are talking about cottage cheese miracles. And in fact, I've got 5 of them for you. 5 cottage cheese miracles. And I'll go quick and then we can discuss, okay? So first of all, you guys, cottage cheese is keto friendly. So many people will ask me, well, can I have cottage cheese? The answer is yes, you can. Of course you can. The trick with the keto diet is that you want to be looking on the label to make sure that you're getting the 4% milk fat. It doesn't matter if it's small curd or large curd. It's all the same. But basically, you are looking for the 4% milk fat. That makes it keto friendly. You don't want low fat. You don't want not fat. You don't want the kind mixed with fruit. Just plain old regular cottage cheese. So one of the things that's great about cottage cheese, it doesn't matter what brand you get, is that it's super duper high in protein. In fact, for a serving of cottage cheese, this is just the house brand, you can expect between 12 and 13 grams of protein per serving. Isn't that great? I know, right? I should go ding, ding, ding. Oh, that's sad. We need a better ding, ding. But really, you can get a lot of protein packed in a small amount. I do want you to be aware, though, this is another fun fact, though, about cottage cheese, is it's quite different from yogurt, keto-friendly yogurt, and that the serving size is slightly different. So pay attention to the serving size of your cottage cheese. It's not the same as yogurt, so get out your measuring cup. For this particular brand, it's a 1/2 cup serving size of cottage cheese. So that's what I'm going to be working with today when I give you my recipes and suggestions and tips regarding the miracle of cottage cheese. So first up, or second up, I should say, that was my first tip. I've got 5 today. Oh, yes. I have a delicious show and tell here. You're going to be so excited about this, I know. And this is a cottage cheese bread. Oh, lovely, right? Cottage cheese bread. You're like, Stephanie, teach me how to make this. First, I got to show you, so that way you know it's worth the excitement. I made this yesterday, and then I put it in the fridge, and everybody at my house wanted to eat it. Everybody, because it looked so good and it smells so delicious. It almost looks like pizza or a tortilla or a naan, right? Doesn't that look good? So here's what I did, you guys, to make this. I took 1 serving of cottage cheese, and that's a 1/2 cup of cottage cheese, and I added 1 egg. So easy, 1 egg. And then I also added some Italian seasoning, just like a 1/4 teaspoon, and then some salt. And I went beat, 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 beat. Then I poured it onto a parchment paper with a little oil on it first. So I did the parchment paper, a little bit of oil, and then I poured the mixture onto this. And then I put it in the air fryer, and I baked it for at 370 degrees. And I did this for about 18 to 20 minutes. I watched it very closely at the end, so that way it got to the perfect level of goldenness. All right, does that make sense? Any questions about that? Let me know in the comments if you have a question. But it tastes absolutely fantastic. Really, this is something you could make into a sandwich wrap. You could use it in place of keto bread from the store. You could roll it up with lunch meat, cheese. You could rip it in half, use it in terms of like naan or any type of other food or recipe that would demand some kind of a bread. But this one happens to be made from cottage cheese. It's fast, it's easy, it's delicious. It's fun, and it tastes great. Isn't that cool? I know, right? Gold star to cottage cheese. Gold star to cottage cheese. I love it so much. I want to show you the next strategy I have. This is the next one. This would be number 3. I was going to give you 5 reasons why I think it's the most miracle of all keto foods lately. We started off with the milk fat and what to look for and why it's different from yogurt and how to do the portion control. The second one is that miracle bread, which is so yummy and taking over the internet. And the third one are chips, cottage cheese chips. I'm going to turn around here because I happen to have these already made for you as well. Fun, right? Okay, you're into this, right? You're getting excited about cottage cheese. Even if you didn't like cottage cheese in the past, I might convert you today because you'll say, oh, Stephanie, that looks really good. And yes, it is. So here's what I did. I took a serving of cottage cheese, which again is what? Do you remember? Put it in the comments. A serving of cottage cheese is a 1/2 cup. And all I did is get out a spoon and put it into 6 even piles. That's it. And then I kind of smushed it with the back of the spoon. and spread them out on some parchment paper. And in this situation, I did not use any oil. The oil I felt like just works better for the bread, but it's not necessary here for the chips. You can do it if you want, but it's not that required. And then I do a nice heavy sprinkle with everything but the bagel seasoning. A nice heavy sprinkle on all of my chips. Now, if you don't have access to that or you want to make it yourself, I do want to point out that the recipe for everything seasoning is inside the Dirty Lazy Keto Dirt Cheap Cookbook. It is on page 128. So if those of you want to make a big batch and save a little cash, you can do that too. Basically, I just put these in the air fryer and on that parchment paper at 350 degrees. I do it for about 25 minutes. And I go back and forth about how many minutes, exactly. You know, you have to kind of watch it, and you may want to do it to the level that gives it the crispiness that you desire. Because you can go extra crispy, or you can just let them be like this. And they're so good. I do recommend you let them sit a little bit before you eat them. If you can wait. That way they firm up and they peel a little easier off the parchment paper. So good. Every single time I make them, I eat them all in seconds because I can't stand waiting. They're just so good. Moving on. Here's another item when it comes to cottage cheese, the miracle keto food today. And this one's kind of a fun dessert. You might be like, really? I know. This one's not necessarily my favorite, but a lot of people do swear by it. Put your cottage cheese, a serving, which is what? A half cup, that's right. Less than yogurt. Put it in a small bowl. Sprinkle some ground cinnamon. Add a little sugar-free sweetener of your choice. Stir it. So simple, you guys. And then heat it in the microwave. Yes, heat it in the microwave so it warms up. And then just stir it and enjoy it like a delicious treat for dessert. Let me know what you guys think of that one. That one's a little like, oh, that's controversial. It's okay. We don't have to have everything for everybody. But one of these might work really great for you. Let's go on to the fifth idea I have for you. This is number 5 of the cottage cheese miracles. And then I'm going to stop and get your feedback, okay? So number 5. Here's a fun one. Do you make egg bites at home or do you go to Starbucks? Because if you're making them at home, it's super duper easy, you guys. Add beaten eggs, okay? Beaten eggs, and then throw in some cottage cheese. Add a serving of cottage cheese. Mix it together. And then as always, whenever you're making anything, especially in the morning, I recommend you add some vegetables, sneak them in. Maybe some chopped up green pepper or some jalapeno. You could add bacon or sausage, of course, but really sneaking in those vegetables are going to give you an extra bit of fiber first thing in the morning. But what's fun about the cottage cheese, by adding this to your egg bites, it's going to make them extra fluffy and extra fabulous. So sneak that in. You'll get a little bit even more protein and deliciousness first thing in the morning. So what do you guys think? I'd love to get your feedback because these are absolute wonderful tricks and tips. These all helped me to lose 140 pounds and keep that weight off now for going on a decade, which is so amazing. So please let me know your thoughts and tips and tricks when it comes to cottage cheese.